Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 22 of Naruto, the God of Shinobi. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share it to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also on my main channel I am going to be posting what if Naruto was taken by the Raikage, and also what if Naruto went missing for 4 years. So remember to go over there and check it out and enjoy. And if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join the Anime King family and be a part of the channel. And thank you all for your support and help. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Start the intro. You can change. You satisfy the rage in me. Take away my pain. You satisfy the rage in me. So in the last part, Mikato and Sasuke and his team went to the Stone Village as they made an alliance with Oniki so they could group up and destroy Konoha together. Meanwhile, back at the village, Danzo was trying to get Fu under his control, but Naruto said something that cancelled that all out. He told everyone that Fu already know how to control the tail beast inside of her. So yeah, that was basically the last part we left off, but you guys can go ahead and check out the last part for yourself by switching across the playlist. So let's start this new episode. We start this episode with Mikato as she gazed down at Konoha from the Hokage's monument. So, I am back. As currently, Obito and Yujito and B were on the hunt for Kabuto. The longer he stay alive, the more problem it will bring. It will be better if they kill him now. They will solve a lot more problems for the future. She focused her gaze off what used to be the great Uchiha compound as memories of that night start to flood into her mind. Mikato remembered something from that night. She was gazing up at someone. So what do you say? The man asks. But what about Sasuke? She asked him. He will be fine. Don't worry, Itachi won't kill him. How do you know that? I know everything, the man said. And what about Fukaku? She asked. As the man gazed down at her, like I said, he served no purpose in my plan. So, will you come with me, Uchiha Mikato? As we skip back to the current time, as Mikato smiled, that was the best choice I ever made. With Naruto, he was currently dreaming as he was sweating a lot. Uzumaki Naruto, you have lost your purpose. What is this? Said Naruto. Where am I? Don't worry, in time, you will come to realize everything. What are you talking about? Who are you? Said Naruto as he was in a black empty void and a voice was just talking. That is not important. First, you will have to choose which path you're going to take, the voice said. Huh, I'm pretty sure I already chosen what I want to do. Destroy Konoha, Naruto said. Perhaps, but there are still many things blocking your way, and many secrets. None of them won't stop me, said Naruto. Alright Uzumaki Naruto, prove it. Naruto jumped out of bed as he was sweating and panting. He calmed himself as he looked around and realized that he was in his apartment on his bed. He turned to the window and see that it was still dark outside. He then turned to his right as he saw the smiling face of Fu. What had happened a few hours earlier just rushed back to his brain. He then smiled as he then cradled Fu. As she smiled, Naruto closed his eyes as he concentrated. When he opened them back, he was in his subconscious. As he walked up to where Kurama was, Naruto walked up as Kurama was currently laying his head on his paw as he then opened his eyes to see Naruto. What is it? He asks. Naruto sighed as he walked closer. You mean you don't know about my dream? Kurama opened his eyes wider. No, I don't. Mind enlighten me? Naruto shrugged as he jumped on top of Kurama's head and lay down. Well, I was in a dark, empty room, and this voice was telling me that I lost my purpose. Now that is interesting, said Kurama. I'm going insane, am I? Said Naruto. Kurama snorted. I am sure you went insane a while ago. Naruto chuckled. Maybe, but I wonder who could it be? And what does it mean, saying that I lost my purpose? Purpose, huh? Kurama thought. Could that have been, as Kurama wondered to himself, as a picture of the Sage of the Sixth Path rushed through Kurama's head as he wondered if he was the one talking to Naruto. In any case, said Naruto, breaking Kurama's thought, I can move on with the next step of my plan. Already? Said Kurama. I thought that you were going to wait a bit more. I already have Anko, Neji, and now Fu in the village, not to mention the rude envoy that Danzo sent after me is basically my puppet now. Disrupting all of Danzo's plans and killing him afterwards is much easier. So, how are you going to leave the village? Kurama asks. I doubt that they are just going to let you leave. No, there is one thing else I need to do, which is giving Mom her own body. Speaking of her, where is she? Kurama shrugged. No idea. But how are you planning on doing that? I am not completely sure yet, and that is what is annoying me, said Naruto as he brought his hands to his eyes. The Rinnegan is supposed to be something godly, right? At this, Kurama nodded, and Naruto continued. So there must be some jutsu that can solve this problem then, Naruto said. I am not sure. The information I gave you and the jutsus you learn are just a tip on the iceberg of what the Rinnegan can actually do. Take the ability that Mito said in her note that Madara could see through time. I didn't even know that was possible. Do you think the Sage of Six Paths figured them all out? Naruto asks. I don't know, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the old man figured them all out, said Kurama. Say, how did the Sage of Six Paths gain the Rinnegan anyway? Naruto asks. That is something that I do not know, said Kurama. Too bad. It would have been really interesting to know, said Naruto. Yes, it would. Kurama then paused, and so did Naruto. We have company. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, Mikato was currently twitching her eyes at the sight before her as she was currently in front of Naruto and Fu lying on the bed. As Naruto then opened his eyes in the real world, as Naruto sit up, but Fu remained sleeping as Mikato had an annoyed look on her face. Seems you've been busy, she said to Naruto, as Naruto raised an eyebrow at her tone. But he didn't really dwell on it. But he did take notice of the fact that he wasn't wearing anything under the bed covers. He wasn't sure how she would react to that, so he decided to keep it quiet. You could say that, he answered. Well, what are you doing here? He asked, switching topics. Are you tired of me already? She said with a bit of amusement. Naruto sighed. You know what I mean. It is dangerous for you to be here. Aw, so you do care, said Mikato as she chuckled. But don't worry, the Uchiha clan has many tunnels sneaking in and out of the village. I just used one to sneak in. I would have thought that security might have been tighter because of what happened with Ethan, but it is not. You still haven't told me why you're here, he said. Mikato merely threw a scroll at him as Naruto caught it as he looked at it. What is this? He asked. Mikato just smirked. That is to help you solve any problems and questions you have regarding the Rinnegan. Naruto's eyes snapped in interest when he heard that. but something else came to mind. Where exactly did you get this? He asked. Someone left it out for us, she answered, not trying to give a direct answer. Someone? Naruto thought. That could only be Madara. He said in his mind, if she thinks she can keep me in the dark, she is gravely mistaken, he said to himself. Don't let her know that though, said Kurama. Well, this will be helpful, said Naruto out loud, setting the scroll aside. The next thing he knew, he was back lying down on the bed with Mikato on top of him. You think I don't know that you're naked under there? She said. Naruto just stared at the woman on top of him. What are you doing? Mikato shrugged. Considering what you did to Fu, I am pretty sure you already know. That caused Naruto to turn his head as he looked at Fu, who was still asleep. She's a heavy sleeper, alright? That, or you put her in a pleasure-induced coma, said Mikato, as Naruto mentally rolled his eyes at Kurama, as a hand grabbed his package, snapping him back to reality. Brat, don't you dare do it. But Naruto was no longer listening to him. He only focused his attention on the woman on top of him, as he grabbed the back of her head and brought her lips to his. Damn it, brat, Kurama muttered. With Deidara and Tobi, where were you? Sorry, Deidara-senpai, but you were so fast that I couldn't find you. So I had to. That's enough, said Deidara. Tobi just chuckled and rubbed the back of his head, making Deidara fidget in annoyance. The two were currently walking down a path in one of the many forests in the land of fire. Where are we going, Deidara-senpai? Leader said we must wait for his instructions, Tobi said to Deidara. Forget that. I have a bone to pick with Uchiha Sasuke, said Deidara. Sasuke? But he's not a Jinchuriki, said Tobi. I don't care. That little brat took my chance to kill Orochimaru, and now that Itachi is gone, there is no one here to protect that little brat. But what about that other Uchiha? That is his mother, said Tobi as he looked at Deidara. Deidara snorted. She's nothing. Tobi's eye narrowed. Not that Deidara noticed. Well, how are we going to find him, senpai? He asked. Before he answered, the two were forced to dodge a Chidori as Sasuke appeared where he was a few minutes ago. Deidara grinned as he landed. It seems like you saved me the problem of finding you, Uchiha. Sasuke didn't say a word as he activated his Sharingan. Sasuke then turned his eye to the other Akatsuki member. So, this is a fake Madara. I wonder who he truly is. Mom never told me, he wondered to himself. Both Shigetsu and Karin landed behind Sasuke. You could have waited for us, muttered Shigetsu in annoyance, but Sasuke paid him no mind. Don't ignore me, screamed Deidara. Sasuke pulled out his sword as he rushed at Deidara in an incredible speed. Deidara was ready for it as he jumped outwards. He grinned as he tossed his clay spiders down towards Sasuke as he said cuts as they exploded. Tobi whistled. Good job, senpai. Sasuke, screamed Karin as she was worried. As Shigetsu mentally shrugged. Does she really think that would kill him? He asked himself. Deidara grinned as he landed a few feet away from the blast radius. And to think that you were able to kill Orochimaru, it must have been as Deidara was cut off as Sasuke's voice was here out of the dust cloud. I was meaning to test this out, Sasuke interrupted. Deidara grin vanished as he gazed at the purple skeleton form that was surrounding Sasuke, who was not even harmed. So this is Sasuke Susanoo, thought Tobi. Karin sighed in relief as Shigetsu scoffed. Show off? Deidara narrowed his eyes. What is that? Sasuke just shrugged. You will be dead soon, so there is no reason for me to explain anything to you. Don't underestimate me, screamed Deidara as he took a large amount of his clay and brought it towards his mouth as he began to chew it. Toby already knew what is coming as he took to the trees, putting a large distance between them and him. Karen and Shigetsu took the hint and did the same thing. Sasuke stood there as he became interested as Deidara spewed out a giant version of himself. Time to die, as he jumped on one of his big clay birds. As he went to the sky. "Cut!" said Deidara. Sasuke expected the thing to explode, but it didn't. It just vanished. Did it fail? He wondered. Deidara smirked as he saw the confused look on Sasuke's face. Sasuke didn't understand what the jutsu did as he saw all of the animals in the area start to disintegrate. "I see," said Sasuke. "This would have caused a problem, but not anymore." Deidara's smirk vanished when he noticed that none of his microscopic bombs were able to enter Sasuke's bloodstream. But why? Is it that purple thing? He wondered to himself, as Sasuke Susanoo started to change as he took on armor. "What?" said Deidara as Susanoo readied his bow and launched the arrow towards Deidara. Deidara's clay bird was pierced, causing Deidara to jump off in mid-air, as he had no way of dodging a second arrow attack. Fast, he thought, as his left arm was pierced as he landed on the ground hard, coughing up a lot of blood. "It's over," said Sasuke as he walked towards Deidara. As his Susanoo disappeared, "What is that jutsu?" Deidara asked again. Sasuke shrugged. "Like I said, there is no reason in telling a dead man." "Amaterasu!" Deidara screamed as the black flames started to engulf his body. Toby chuckled at a safe distance. "That Mikato, she's more crafty than I thought, but I can use this at my advantage if I convince Sasuke." "I know you're out there," said Sasuke. Toby chuckled as he appeared in front of Sasuke. "I take it you know who I am," he said in his normal voice. "Yes, that is why you're going to die." "Amaterasu," said Sasuke as the black flames hit Toby as Toby stood there as they didn't even hurt him. "Is that all you got?" asked Toby. Sasuke narrowed his eyes as his Susanoo appeared. Toby tilted his head. "You sure aren't creative, are you? But the question is, will you join me?" Sasuke snorted. "Of course not. What gave you the idea that I would?" Toby shrugged. "It was worth asking, but do know that you made an enemy out of me." "But till next time, Sasuke," Toby said as he disappeared. Sasuke sighed as his Susanoo disappeared. Just what kind of jutsu was that? As he turned to the pile of ash that was once Deidara, and I did take care of another Akatsuki member. That is one less problem, he said to himself. Both Shigetsu and Karen appeared again. "Well, did you get the other one?" asked Shigetsu. Sasuke just shrugged as he started to walk away. As Mikato told him where the Akatsuki base was. "Let's see if anyone else is over there," he said as he started to walk, ignoring Shigetsu's question. Back at the Leaf Village, Naruto squinted his eyes in annoyance as the sun shined in his eyes through the window. "Annoying sun," he said. As he was about to get up, he felt weight on both of his arms, preventing him from doing so. He turned to his right and Fu was still asleep as she was holding onto his arm with a big smile on her face. And when he turned to his right, Mikato was also holding on his arm. A knock on the door prevented him from enjoying the sight any longer. He substituted with a pillow as he put on a pair of boxers and went into the door to check. He opened it partially and was greeting to Sakura's smiling face. "Crap," he thought. "Good morning, Naruto," said Sakura. As aware to the fact that two naked women were currently lying on his bed, Naruto looked at Sakura. "Sakura, what a surprise. What are you doing here?" "Tsunade has cleared our team for mission now that everything has calmed down," she answered. Oh, and she telling me to tell you that you must also bring someone called Fu, she said. Naruto nodded as he closed the door and walked back to the two sleeping women on his bed as he wondered how to wake them up. Screw it, he said. Okay, get up you two. We have work to do, he said. Both groaned before sitting up. Fu rubbed her eyes as she took notice of Mikato. What are you doing here? As she then noticed that she was completely naked. As the last thing she remembered, well, you all probably know, but what was Mikato doing here? Mikato let out a small yawn. I am Mikato. We have already met, but that was through the hologram. Fu's eyes widened at that. So you're Mikato. As Mikato nodded, Fu then blinked as she was confused. Okay, but what are you doing here? And naked. Mikato chuckled. The same reason why you're here and also naked, she said, as she pointed towards Naruto, who was searching for his pants. Fu blushed. So they did it while I was asleep, she thought. Yes, we did, said Mikato, already knowing what Fu was thinking. Fu's face became completely red. Mikato chuckled as she got out of bed, not hearing that she was completely naked, as she asked Naruto what was going on, who finally found his pants. I have a mission, along with Fu. You, well, I don't know what you're going to do. Mikato shrugged. There's not much at the moment. Naruto eyed her. Well, you should know that I'm not planning to stay in the village much longer. Oh, and why is that? She asked. Because, he said simply, not offering an explanation. So he's not telling me everything, she thought. I suppose I should expect that. Fu, get ready, said Naruto. Fu finally came out of her embarrassment as she nodded. Well then, said Mikato, I guess I should go too, as she picked up her clothes that were all around the room and walked up to Naruto and gave him a kiss. Thanks for a good night, she added with a wink and disappeared. Did she just leave naked? Thought Naruto, amused, as she didn't exactly put the clothes on. Currently, Obito chuckled as he stared at the duo in front of him. I must say this is a surprise, as Obito was with Yujito and B, standing a few feet away from Kakazu and Kabuto. Surprise? Huh? Kakazu thought in his mind as he was the one who gave them the location. I must say, I didn't expect you guys to find us this quickly, he said as he adjusted his glasses. Obito shrugged. The element of surprise is a strong tool to have on your side. But for right now, you must die. As Yujito's sweat dropped, B nodded his head to the agreement what Obito said. Are all Uchihas this crazy? Asked Yujito. Kakazu snorted as Kabuto shook his head. Honestly, are all of the Uchihas so arrogant? He asked. And you're one to talk, said Obito. The only difference is that I can back that arrogance up. Kabuto narrowed his eyes. We will see about that, as he slammed his two hands together and 4 coffins rose up. They opened, and Asuma and 3 other shinobis came out. Yujito and B readied themselves. The 4 dead shinobi rushed in at the trio, intending to take them down, as Asuma went at Obito, but all of his strikes just went right through Obito. He then grabbed Asuma's by the shoulder as he spun him around and fling him backward. The other 3 went after Yujito and B. B activated his chakra cloak. Lariat, he said, as he took off the heads of 2 of them, as the other went after Yujito. Yujito gracefully dodged the kicks and the punches, and she coursed her element lightning through her body, and much like Chidori, she slammed him with a high voltage of lightning, sending him flying back. Kabuto then ran through hand signs as he summoned Snake of his creation. It was a more advanced version of Manda, as the 4 revived shinobi were currently regenerating the damage done to their body. There is no need for me to get involved, thought Kakazu from the ground as he looked up at Kabuto. "It seems you don't know anything about my abilities," said a voice behind Kabuto. Kabuto quickly turned around as fast as possible, but there was no one there. "Manda, where is he?" Kabuto said. The summon, Manda looked around as he tried to find a scent, but he couldn't. No one was there. What exactly is going on? Thought Kabuto. A giant explosion happened to his right as he turned, as he was now face to face with the giant A-tail. "Let's get this party started!" "Wee!" screamed B in his tail beast form. "Must you say that when you're in my form?" grumbled Haxabi from within B's mind, making B smirk. Kakasu stood there, then he had to dodge kicks that were coming from Yujito. "You're out of your league here, little girl." Yujito's right eye twitched. "Little girl?" Kakasu continued as he didn't notice her anger continue to rise as he felt demon chakra as dust and dirt, everything started to pick up. It was too late as a tail slammed right into his back with great force. "Me and my mouth," thought Kakazu as he stood up to see the two-tailed Jinchuriki in front of him. "Where is he?" said B as he looked around. "All I kill were snakes." "All substitution," said Haxabi. Currently, Kabuto was on one of the trees. The regeneration is slow. Because of B destroying the reanimation bodies, it took a long while for them to completely reanimate. "I am going to have to bring out tougher ones." His thought was gone as he had to dodge a large fireball. Kabuto jumped out of the way. "There he is," said B, as Kabuto looked down to see Obito. Obito then heard a scream as it came from Kakazu, as Kakazu was down to 2 hearts. "Punches, and I'm down to 2 hearts," he said as he huffed. "I really shouldn't have pissed her off. And why isn't Obito calling her off?" he thought, as Yujito looked at him. As Kakazu was pissed off as he stood up and ripped off the remaining Akatsuki cloak, as he then turned serious. But guys, I'm going to be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends on your social media platform. But for now, I'm out. Peace.